got nervous and clapped too early. I have to retake that one. Hello, it's me, Izzy. I'm filling in for Sam and also everyone else who usually does this today. Welcome back to Jimmy Fame Presents Bonus Against the Machine. More pod for your bod. Sponsored by Charlie the Lizard Folks Chicken Emporium. More cluck for your buck. I think that's all the words.
Got it.
I'm Izzy. Thanks.
Impressive.
Oh my God, you guys. Please. Stop. I think I'm done for the night. That's it. All right, I feel good. Ended on a high note. Also, I'm here with everyone else. Say hi, everyone else.
Hi, everyone else.
We did the thing. Doing another McFyb. Tonight we are playing Monster of the Week based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system, which was one of my first games that I ever played and also the very first rulebook I ever owned. So familiar-ish with it. Have I ever led a game? No, but we're going to figure it out. We're all going to figure it out together. And part of that is going to be this super fun new thing we're trying where we do character creation live for you. And by live, I mean previously recorded, so we can edit out any mistakes. Everyone should have their character sheet ready, except for maybe Zach. Let me give that to you right now.
Oh, we have character sheets in the VTT.
Oh, there's ones in the thing.
Oh, I don't see
it
it. I
today.
don't own anything.
In the VIT?
You don't? You should. Hang on.
Wait, never mind. I know how to roll 20.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't have one yet.
I
Hang on,
see.
Zach.
Oh, wait, no, I see him. He's above. I was going to say, I see sample hunters.
Oh, I just meant I
Oh.
don't know how to roll
Yeah.
20. But I guess I also don't have that.
Oh, awesome. I actually had the evil hat sheet open in PDF in another thing.
Same.
I didn't realize you had sheets in here for us.
I mean, feel free to use the PDFs, but this will have all of your character notes that I don't have to go looking for them. So when I say feel free to use the PDFs, I mean in addition to these things, which is handy. So while we're doing that, a little bit about the system that, as far as I know, will be true. I guess it could be a lie. We'll be rolling 2d6 instead of your normal d20. And it comes out to there are 5 or 6 basically different moves. So everything is going to fall under one of those moves. So instead of athletics and stealth and sense motive, you have a figure things out or investigate a mystery, or one of the moves is called. Can I say that?
Yeah.
We'll say kick some butt move. There we go.
Kick some
We've
hiney.
recovered. Kick some
Monster
tush.
of the family.
And then you'll also have your stats. So character creation is pretty straightforward. Let's go in a circle and do that. You're going to start with, we have names already. We have names and appearances, so why don't we start with that? I'm going to randomly pick someone based on this roll of a d4 that isn't a caltrop. All right, that is a Jeff. Jeff, tell us about your character, or what you know so far, and then we'll, get the details in there.
Yeah, so what I know so far is that this dude, he, him pronouns, is Ezekiel Frost, although he goes by Zeke. And he is what's known, there's no classes in this game. There are playbooks, and his playbook is The Searcher. As far as appearance goes, I definitely did not have that done. But out of my options, and I think this will be fun for the listener, we can edit it out when I'm wrong. They give you options to kind of pick one from a list for a lot of things. And as far as look goes, we have friendly face, haunted face, thoughtful face, lined face, curious face, and fill in the blank underscore face. When I think of Zeke and the art I have for him, I think of thoughtful face. And as far as clothes go, he's kind of on the fence, right? We've got normal, casual, nerdy, tweedy, or outdoor wear, or underscore fill in the blank clothes. And I feel like depending on the day, he's probably between casual and nerdy. So I don't know if we want to call that clarity. Probably not. Maybe nasual. Yeah, they're both bad. I'm just going to go with
like nasual.
I like nasual.
nasual appearance, nasual clothes, and
Makes you feel like a nasual searcher.
Yeah. And a thoughtful face.
Awesome. Great. Excited to learn more about him. Who's next? It's still Jeff. Nope, now it's Jerome.
Okay. All right. Did I forgot already? Did Jeff mention his class that he's planning on, or did he just give description?
Also mentioned his playbook, yeah.
Okay. So I am playing Don Bellwether, who is the Flake. And he is a late middle-aged man, mid-50s, though he probably looks about a decade older, very haggard. Graying like salt and pepper, but mostly gray hair, very thin and gaunt. As the Flake, your looks that you choose from have to do mainly with your eyes. The options they give you are wild eyes, moving eyes, focused eyes, searching eyes, suspicious eyes, wide eyes, guarded eyes, or blank eyes. And I'm actually going with blank, and I put in Bowie because he has basically what David Bowie had, which is a sort of, it's not exactly heterochromia. Basically, one of his eyes is just permanently dilated. And for clothing, you have ratty, casual, rumpled suit, neat clothes, comfortable clothes, or army surplus gear, or blank. And he is rocking a kind of charcoal gray, rumpled suit that just kind of almost hangs off him. It looks like it doesn't look like it's like the wrong size, just that maybe he was not as thin as he is now when he originally had this suit cut for him.
All right. Moving right along. Sam, who's your character?
So my character will be Lee Serafini, they, them pronouns. And the playbook that Lee is the Divine, which is, just a normal person. It's just a normal person.
Just a normal guy.
Asking. So as far as the options I have to choose from, man, woman, androgynous, asexual, Lee would fall under that last one, asexual. As far as eyes goes, between blazing, terrifying, placid, sparkling, perceptive, starry, or glowing, we've gone with placid eyes. And between dirty clothes, perfect suit, rumpled suit, casual clothes, or practical clothes, I'm seeing Lee in casual clothes. And by casual clothes, I mean like a black t-shirt, and then over that, like a sequin silver vest, just like all the time, that may mechanically come into play.
Nice.
But, it's just sparkly.
So casual.
It's nice.
Bedazzled.
Love it. I'm down for sparkles literally anytime, as we all know. And Zach, who are you playing?
Zach am playing Geraldine Jerry Hayden Wachowski. She is an expert playbook character, unlike me in this game or system. Using the pick one from the list, they would identify as a woman. She is about 75 to 85. She won't tell you. She does wear an apron befitting her role as a lunch lady, and her face, out of thoughtful face, lined face, scarred face, contemplative face, stern face, avuncular face, experienced face, and ancient face, would be somewhere between ancient and stern. And then out of my clothes, old-fashioned clothes, casual clothes, utility clothes, tailored clothes, or outdoor clothes. Utility clothes, again, some gloves, an apron, maybe a hairnet, depending on what we're doing.
Fair, understandable. All right, sweet. So we got the basics out of the way. Now we get to get onto the fun stuff where we do some numbers. As previously mentioned, Powered by the Apocalypse games are a little different than Pathfinder. A lot fewer numbers, a lot less dice rolling, a little more improvisational / conversational. That said, you do still have some stats you need to roll, and those stats are reading right now. Cool is how calm and collected you are. It is added to your die for the roll act under pressure and help out basic moves. Tough is how strong and mean you are in a fight. It is added to your die roll for kick kick some butt, and protect someone. Basic moves. Charm is how pleasant persuasive you are. It is added to your die roll for the manipulate someone basic move. Sharp is how observant you are. It is added for your die roll to investigate a mystery, read a bad situation. And weird is how attuned to the supernatural you are. So you use that for your use magic basic move. So you all should have a series of options. They sort of give them out for you where you have, plus or minus 1, 2, up to 3 eventually. You can choose any one of those lines and then let us know what your ratings are. I'm sure that won't be super boring. Cut it out. It's fine. Let's go in the same order we just went. So I think, Jeff, you went first. Do you have a sense of what your ratings are?
Yeah, I had to put a little thought into this. And what I thought of when I thought of Zeke, I'm going with the line where charm, +0. Cool, +1. Sharp, +1. Tough, oh no, that's a minus. Boop. Yeah, I put some thought into this. I'm going with the line of charm +1. Cool, -1. Sharp, +1. Tough, flat 0. Weird, +2.
Nice. And Dro?
So I am going with the line on mine is a -1 to charm, a -1 to cool, a +2 to sharp, a 0 to tough, and a +2 to weird. So he is very sharp, very
Sharp and weird.
detail-oriented, and also very weird, but not super charming and not super great under pressure.
I will say that these stats go up to +3 max and -2. So yeah, +2. And to start the game, no one has a +3 in anything, I don't think. That might be a lie. So +2 is pretty weird.
I would technically have the ability to give myself a +3 with one of the things I can take later, but I'm not taking that one because there's a better
mystery.
one.
Love to hear it.
There are a couple options, I think, that can give you.
They
+3
do
to
have
start,
in our
but-
playbook, which we'll get to in a little bit. They do have
Yeah.
playbook options that'll.
Yeah, because I have a thing that could give me another +1 to weird,
I saw that one.
but I'm not going to use it because there's better ones.
Sam?
Let's see. My stat line is very charming, -1 to charm, +1 cool. We're going just straight par on sharp, but +2 to tough, and +1 to the weird.
Nice. We need someone tough. This is a nerdy team. Or a, Najuble team? My bad.
Nasual.
Very,
Oh no.
just the most nasual, stangent. I'm not going to try to speak
It's
anymore,
all right. That's
especially when
fine.
they're not real words.
No, keep going. We need this content.
I spent too much time under the porch today. I can't human anymore.
Can't words. Well, maybe that'll come in handy for the game.
And that's not a metaphor.
Yeah, that's literal under porch time.
It's not like I'm feeling under the weather or I've been under the porch. It's like, no. If you don't get that reference, join our Discord. Find the links in the show notes.
I
Anyway,
lied, though.
I'll stop.
I was actually under the kitchen.
Same. Under the house. And Zach.
All right, Jerry, -1 to charm, but +1 to cool. Sharp, she's a +2. Tough, +1. Nothing on weird. She's not weird.
weird.
You're weird.
Sweet. All right. So I think that puts us into getting to do the fun stuff, which is picking. I think I just said that, and I'm going to say it again. This is the really fun stuff where we get to pick our moves. I'm going to have everyone read out their moves because I think that's the fun part, and they'll come up later and be great. So same order.
I am prepared for this one.
Nice.
And not like the last time when I said I was prepared and didn't realize some of those numbers were negative. So every one of the Searcher playbook gets to start off with one move called First Encounter. And that's the event that started you down this path, sparking your need to discover the truth behind the unexplained. And the one that I chose was cryptid sighting. So what started Zeke down, he saw a cryptid. Which one? Maybe we'll find out. You'll definitely find out. He probably talks about it more than he should. But yeah, as a benefit, whenever I see a new type of creature for the first time, I can immediately ask one of the investigative mystery questions. So, considering if you've listened to our show at all, you know my rolls are bad, just generally. Occasionally hey cool, a crit, but mostly just like 5 or below. And in this game, more like 3 or below. Getting a free question, pretty nice. And then I get to choose a couple other things from a long list, and I chose Just Another Day for one of them. When I have to act under pressure due to a monster, phenomenon, or mystical effect, I can roll plus weird instead of plus cool. So those of you who are like, oh no, -1 to cool, what was he thinking? Actually, he was
thinking.
And then for his third move, because I didn't say his age earlier. I picture him right about 40, maybe 41. And the things I have seen, when you encounter a creature or phenomenon, you may declare that you've seen it before. The keeper may ask you some questions about that encounter and will tell you one useful fact you learned and one danger you need to watch out for, maybe right now. So yeah, that's Zeke.
All right. Let's see. I'm curious about that cryptid you'd set up. I can't wait to hear about that. I'm going to hear some more about that. I'm sure we'll have more questions for you once we get into the history section, but for now, Dero, what moves are you taking? I'm the keeper, by the way. That's me. That's my role today. It's like GM, but spelled different.
Pronounced exactly the same,
Yeah.
though. So we're just going to call you GM. So my first move I took is Connect the Dots. At the beginning of each mystery, if you look for the wider patterns that current events might be part of, you can roll plus sharp. If you get a 10 plus, you can do hold 3, which I'm sure will be explained later. But just real quick, it basically means I have little points to spend on stuff later on. And if I roll 7 to 9, I get 1 instead of 3. And I can spend those points later on to force Izzy to answer questions about the story and ruin the mystery. There's a little list of questions that I can ask later on if I pass that roll at the very beginning. Then the second one I took is actually pretty similar to one of Jeff's, called See It All Fits Together, and it allows me to use Sharp instead of Charm when I attempt to manipulate somebody. So my -1 to Charm instead becomes a +2 to my Sharp if I'm having a conversation and trying to sway somebody my way.
Everyone's making this very difficult for me.
Oh, well, it's about to get even more difficult because the final one I picked is called Suspicious Mind, and it means I automatically know if somebody's lying to me.
I saw that one and I was like, this is going to be a problem.
That's the best move. I do enjoy the Flake playbook.
I just like to point out, I have only ever GM'd for small groups of personal friends and never for people who have played anything before. So I think that we should all be nice to me. Thank you.
I mean, you did just not call us.
I know if that's
friends.
a lie or not. Is that a lie?
So, I don't know if I could, as your professional friend.
I don't care.
No.
Sam, I think you're up.
Well, the Divine doesn't have any set in stone moves, but I do get 3 Divine moves. And I have chosen for Lee Angel Wings. You can instantly go anywhere you visited before or to any person that you know well. When you carry 1 or 2 people with you, roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, you all go where you wanted. Otherwise, it doesn't work quite as well. And you can get separated or wind up in the wrong place.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So
that's what I'm hoping for.
The next one is What I Need When I Need It, which is you may store any small object you own, putting it into a magical place that no one can get to, and you can retrieve anything you've stored at any time. It appears in your hand. So like magic pockets, which also very exciting. And then for the last one, I am unable to divorce myself from Pathfinder or other TTRPGs in general, and I am choosing Lay on Hands. Your touch can heal injury or disease. When you lay your hands on someone hurt, you can roll plus cool. On a 10+, you can heal 2 harm or an illness, plus they're stabilized. On a 7 to 9, you can either heal harm or the illness, but you take it into yourself, and on a miss, you cause extra harm instead, which is, you know how it is.
You know how it is. It's a real bummer. Sweet. This is all sounding so good for me. Thank you. And Zach, how are you going to ruin my life?
See, the only ruining is Sam's magic pocket taking away my magic pocketbook. But that's fine.
Oh.
I was going to go with the preparedness one. You know what? I still will, because I refuse to optimize.
We're going to have so much stuff.
We're here to have fun. All right. So under the expert, there is preparedness, which is when you need something unusual or rare with no size restriction. Roll a plus sharp. On a 10, you have it right here, right now. 7 to 9, you have it, but it's not here. And it will take some time to get it. On a miss, you know where it is, but it's somewhere real bad. So yeah, we're a well-provisioned party. Plus, I am so committed to Jerry's character that the purse is a big part of the production. She also has often right, and this is the one I'm the most excited about. When a hunter comes to you for advice about a problem, give them your honest opinion and advice. They take your advice. They get a +1 ongoing while following your advice. And I mark experience. That I'm less, but I'm excited to buff through advice giving. So that is really, her years on the 5th to 6th grade lunch line at McLaughlin Elementary has taught her a lot of wisdom, and she's excited to share it with these other hunters.
Is that where she's working now?
Yeah, absolutely. She has a pension. She has a pension, darling.
Elementary lunch lady. It's in my notes. It's official. Sweet. All right. So let's see. There's also gear. I think we'll talk more about gear later on, maybe when we get into the game. I trust you all to not lie to me. I want to get into the fun relationship building part, because that's, again, the fun part. And how relationships work, how history works in Powered by the Apocalypse is everyone is given a set of questions that they ask to each other and answer them with each other, so that by the end of it, they all have some relationship to each other. There will be, that's pretty much how it works. We'll all go through the questions and ask those now that the characters have been introduced. This is also where we'll sort of figure out our team dynamic. Is this a brand new team? Have they worked together before, or do they know each other? Now, since we do have some history built in, they will have some history built in, but maybe they hate each other. That could be a potential history. Maybe they've never worked together before, or at least not as a team, and that'll make things funner for me. So I'm going to go through and ask these questions, and then you all answer them as you see fit. Let me start again with Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. Don't remember what I rolled. I think I rolled a 4, a 1. You know what? I rolled your number.
Roll to Jeff.
Rolled a Jeff. All right. Zeke, the searcher. Your questions are, well, let's see. You know what? Actually, you should read them, because you get to choose which question you want. That's a better idea. I don't need to read all these questions. That's going to be real weird. So go ahead and ask your question to all of your fellow players.
Under the history?
Yeah, under history, everyone gets one. All different questions.
Okay. So I'll ask each person one of my list of questions.
Correct. And they will ask you questions in return when it's their turn.
So one of my questions, which feels really perfect for Lee Serafini, is I figured out a supernatural or weird secret that you keep. What's that? What is it?
That I can teleport and store things interdimensionally. That I may not be a person at all, but perhaps some being from, a different place.
Ooh. So, is this then now Sam asks me a question, or am I going around and asking?
Yeah, ask all your questions, and then we can.
Okay.
I don't. Do we have to? Is one gonna be? You know what? No. Let's switch it up. Let's. Yeah, let's go to Jero, and you can ask a question. Just remember, keep track of who you've asked questions to.
Okay, I got one that I immediately thought of as soon as I saw what character they were playing in their profession, like not their playbook, but their other profession. So I am going to ask Jerry, Zach's character. I believe that they are somehow tied in to whatever mysterious things are going on, and I'm keeping an eye on them. So what could I have maybe know about you that makes it feel like you could be tied into some kind of weird mystery going on?
So you probably witnessed while you were at the elementary school buying Girl Scout cookies in the lunchroom while I was serving a child. They were like, "Hey, Mrs. Jerry," and I was like, "What?" They were like, "I heard a weird sound outside of my house. It kind of sounded like a monster," and I was like, "Honey, did it sound like a blah 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 blah? Because that's a chupacabra. But if it's more of a wah 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 wah, that could be anything." And then maybe at one point she even hefted out a small tome on her lunch break when she's smoking her Virginia Slim 300s, which are canonically 4 feet long. She's also just leafing through that tome. She's not trying to cover. She's a smart lady. She just likes what she does.
She's an expert. That's it. She's a professional.
Yeah. All right, I like it. Yeah, I heard her giving out some of her expertise, and I decided that means clearly she's involved in whatever is going on in this town.
It happens. Sweet. Sam.
All right, I'm going to say that none of mine are really questions. They're more statements. I'm going to say tying into Zeke knowing that Lee isn't quite human. At some point, Zeke saved Lee's life. And I understand, intellectually at least, that I owe Zeke for this.
Do we get to know any more details about that?
It doesn't say, but I would like Jeff to tell me how you saved the life of the sequined teleporter.
Yes. The bedazzled being, as it were. Yeah, I think so. And it's kind of gear related, and the fact that Zeke's encountered a cryptid before. I think maybe Lee didn't know that they were somewhere that a cryptid had been sighted before, and based on kind of his understanding of the habits of this unspecified cryptid, Zeke caught Lee before they stepped into a trap, and then pointed it out to them and was like, "Hey man, if I hadn't have stopped you, bad news bears." That's not his voice. That's just me talking. But
Oh, for sure. We don't have to worry about that right now.
he definitely has a voice.
As I'm sure all of the characters definitely already have established voices and not just Jerry.
So many of them. Speaking of Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. Well, Jerry has once come across Don Bellwether. They actually once asked Jerry for advice. And what was it exactly that you wanted to know, honey?
I think maybe... Actually, you know what? I think he maybe asked her about maybe, knowing that she's a school cafeteria worker, maybe about nutrition, especially maybe if you're older and maybe have some health issues and you need to start eating better. Like, what do you feed these kids to make them grow up big and strong?
Oh, it's fiber. I just shred the cardboard boxes right into the mashed potatoes. It's good for everybody.
All right. Don asked Jerry about nutrition. What do you feed these kids?
They don't.
And it's cardboard.
Shredded cardboard.
Cardboard boxes.
It keeps everything moving. Which, once you get to a certain
tough.
age, that's all you can ask for.
Sweet. All right, we are back.
This podcast brought to you by Ungraceful Aging.
Sponsored by Ungraceful Aging. All right, back around to Zeke. Second question.
Yeah, so this is not exactly a question again, but this kind of fits the mysteriously ageless but ancient, or stancient Jerry. In my researches, I found accounts and pictures of someone matching their description perfectly, but long before they were born. And, tell them if I've mentioned this, and I think I have, and said, you look just like, and you even kind of act the same way this other person acted, but there's no way that could have been you, right? This is from, 1885.
Oh, darling, I wish I looked that good, but the Hayden Wachowskis have been serving gruel all the way back to the Black Death, and we all look the same. It's kind of a timelessness of a genetic dynasty, as it were.
Excellent.
Or maybe I'm
What'd you say?
156.
Always watching, Wazowski.
Between the last name and the voice, I keep thinking of Roz from Monsters, Inc. I can't get it out of my head.
That is the very first thing I thought, too. When I saw the name, I was like, always watching. Oh, that's a great movie. All right.
Zowski.
Who is next? Joe.
Okay, so I did Jerry. So I think my next one would be Lee. I think I'm gonna do next, and this would be a fun one, but just to try to make Sam try to figure out how on earth this would work, but I'm not gonna pick it. I think instead I'm gonna go with... Ooh, this sounds like an interesting one. The signs all point to working together, so you found them and now you work together. And to turn that into a question form, I am going to ask Lee how they think I originally found them and approached them.
Well, I think that Lee is by day a real estate agent in this town, and so there are signs up in front of various houses in town with just like pictures of their face, basically, next to like whatever real estate company they work for, but just like a sort of placid, weird, somewhat plastic-looking smile of this genderless being. So I think...
Yeah, I just saw it on like a park bench that said need a sign or...
Yep. And then they're very easy to find because their phone number's right on the sign.
All right, I think we're back around. No, who? Was that was just Jero's turn?
Yep.
All right, so Sam.
Yes. So we're up to Sam.
All right. Well, I think my next one is Jerry. You are the person that I go to for advice on mortal stuff. Like food and drugs, it says, and television, and just like, functioning as a person that is normal and does normal human things.
Well, darling, being normal for me is an even balance of food, drugs, and television. Were those the three? yeah, food, drugs, and television. So, if anyone asks you, what you're on or what you like, just talk about one of those three things, because chances are that's what's the gas in their tank, too.
Nailed it. Right, that was Sam, and then Zach.
Let's see. This would be a really weird one, and I kind of just want to do it. So Zeke, given both of us, or both of our penchant for knowledge, we were both previously members of an eldritch group that is now disbanded. Ask them why they left, and then tell them why you did. So, yeah. Why did you leave? And then I'll tell you why I left.
Yeah, so why I left the I just feel like just me go down the rabbit hole and come up with all things like the fright finders. And I can't think of anything off the top of my head, like the cryptid crew. Yeah, it's really good. I think Zeke would have left that organization, that group, just because I think he got the impression that some of these people that had joined more recently and were non-believers, and they were just kind of harshing his mellow. Like, he and some of the people who'd been in there for a while, maybe Jerry, I don't know, I haven't found out her reason yet, were believers. But some of these people are coming in and they think it's a joke, and he just, didn't want to put up with it anymore.
Jerry's in complete agreement. I mean, Jerry left because, honestly, they were seeing this almost divine quest for more knowledge beyond the veil, beyond the realm of human understanding, slowly watered down and denatured by all of these followers and these trendy kids and their lip earrings. And it was interfering with Maury. Maury Povich is a darling and a saint.
Jerry, it's in my notes. Let me know when we have a name for this Eldritch group. Right now, it's the quote-unquote Fright Finders.
It's Mary Kay.
I'll let Zach come up with that because he's brilliant, and I'll just delegate.
Let's see. That was Zach.
I think we got one more round, right?
Definitely not the Maury monitors, because
Monitors. Clearly.
they get in the way.
No, that actually was the name, and that's really what that was the internal conflict that came to a head. Because I was like, on one hand, this name doesn't even make sense with the arcane and eldritch, right? But I'm also missing Maury,
More like the
and I'm really worried about space on my TiVo. And that was really the
Ooh.
and that's what she said right when she slammed the door.
You were supposed to be the Povich protectors, and now you're the Maury missers.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we got one more round. Everyone should have one more question to ask one more person. Back around to you, Jeff.
Yeah. So that leaves me and old Don, and I actually found Don's pet when it went missing. Where had it gone?
So Don actually owned a chinchilla.
Aw.
And it had gotten out and was looking for a place to bathe because they do those little dust baths where they just find like a patch of like really dry, coarse dirt and roll around in it. And I think maybe on one of your trips to see Jerry that we all apparently take occasionally, you came across it on just kind of hanging out on the pitcher's mound at the elementary school like playground area, and it had a little collar around its little fat little chinchilla neck that had my address and everything on it, and you recognized it and brought it to me.
Aw.
That's right. How could I forget?
What is the chinchilla's name?
I don't think I come up with a name for this
Yeah.
chinchilla.
Cheech the chinchilla Marin.
Chichilla.
You know what? That is amazing. You know what? I'm going to steal the one that Zach just put in. Or no, actually, no, that was Jeff that put it in. Zach just read it out.
Yes.
The amazing one that Jeff came up with. His name is Cheechchilla.
Cheechchilla. Perfect. Do you still have Cheechchilla?
I would say yes. He still has him.
All right.
And he still just lets him wander the
notes.
house. He has not learned his lesson. Actually, he doesn't have a house. He has like a dingy apartment that he lets this chinchilla wander around and spray chinchilla pee on everything.
Praise P.
That chinchilla smell never goes away.
I'd like to think it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like that mouse that like Scottish or Irish guy found in his, like, do you remember this from like a month and a half ago? This mouse like cleaned up a portion of this guy's like garage and he caught it on camera. Can't believe this
No, I
isn't
don't think I
burning in the
saw
front of
that.
your minds with this like small fun fact that
Like
occurred
the
2 months
Cinderella
ago.
mice? Like it was
Fine, I'll
cleaning?
put it in the Discord.
Basically.
Hold on.
Yeah, hang on. We're pausing the pod for a moment because I want to know about this mouse that cleaned this
Gotta do the
guy's
research.
garage.
This is super important. Here, I'm gonna drop there's the YouTube video,
Mouse
Of him
film tidying
doing
up
it.
man's shed every night.
and oh good, I'm really glad that it's Fox
The
News
first hit
that
for
is
me is a
Tidying
song
up
called
man's
Pop
shed.
Sugar. I have no idea what
Yeah,
Pop
I know
Sugar
Pop
is,
Sugar.
but it doesn't sound... Okay. Meet the Marie
Lots of
Kondo
ads.
of mice. It's interesting.
Yeah, so I'd like to think that Cheech actually keeps your life together and like maybe pays your bills. Because it doesn't seem like you could.
Dang. Shots fired.
Wow.
That's actually a good question that I just saw pop up. Is this taking place in modern day, or is it a period piece?
Great question. We'll talk about that in just a second when we discuss
Okay.
our setting a little more.
Before then, I'm guessing that was the end then of Jeff's final question.
Yes.
So I am gonna turn it right back on him because Zeke was also the last one that I didn't ask. So mine is this actually works pretty good with Zeke's thing. We know each other originally through cryptozoology and conspiracy theory websites. So my question is, what site did we meet on, and what was your handle?
Yeah. So we met at the truthisouthere.net. And Zeke's handle would have been Frosty the Snowman,
Frosty. Oh, because
like it.
your name.
because Zeke's last name is Frost.
Nice.
Are the O's
I like it.
O's or zeros?
Good question.
One of each.
Ooh, zeros. But all the other letters are just letters. You'd think are the E's 3s or the A's 4s. Nah, just the O's or zeros.
Sweet. All right, coming down to our last couple questions here. That was Dro. Sam, I believe your last question is for, Don.
Yeah, Don, I had a few different ones that I've kind of been going back and forth on in my head for Don, but I think what I'm going to go with is their prayer, be it an informal or even unconscious prayer, summoned you. So, Don, why is Lee in the world? What is it that you wanted that summoned this being from beyond the veil?
Well, he was looking at a park bench with your face on it. Was just thinking to himself, what is this person? They're a real estate? Does no one else? I gotta ask them what the heck they are, because this is not a human being.
All right. And last one, Jerry, how do you know Lee?
It's actually funny because it's very similar to the question that Sam just asked. But it is, they know one of your dark secrets, but they've agreed to keep quiet about them. Tell them
Oh,
exactly
God.
what.
I wasn't planning on having dark
And,
secrets.
Oh no,
okay.
I'm telling you. I'm
okay.
telling you my dark secret that you know. So as you heard, Lee actually consults Jerry for totally normal human thing advice questions. But the way that they first got acquainted, the first time that Lee saw Jerry, she was kneeling in an inverted pentagram made of linguine and spoodles. And she was going through the book, the large book in front of her, and she thought she had stopped on Seraphim, because that is what she was attempting to summon, but it was actually Seraphine. And there was Lee. And there was Jerry, and there was Prego sauce inside of the geometric shape that was also on her orthopedic socks. And it was a really bad way to meet someone that you wound up respecting later. But Lee was just so cool about it. And Jerry was like, this would be really terrible for my long-term career as a tenured lunch lady inside of an elementary school if they were aware of my extracurricular activities. And Lee swore themselves to secrecy on the condition that I continued to provide them with totally normal advice about being human.
Having
Nice.
just proven yourself to be an expert on normalcy in your pentagram of pasta.
With your linguine pentagram. Pentagram of pasta. I love that. I'm going to write that down for our first
pastagram.
episode title. Cool. All right. So that gets to us through our relationships. And now that we have this established, let's talk about what kind of team we are. How did you all come to work together? Or have you ever worked together like this before? Is this a first time thing? And if so, I guess we'll discuss that in the first episode. Can really feel the silence.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that at least a few of us have worked together, because there seems like there's some really solid connections that are also kind of weird.
Yeah, we at least,
on here.
since we do kind of all know each other, and for the most part, our knowledges with each other do seem to involve our interest in the supernatural. I could see, maybe, if not all four at once, I think, maybe some of us have done stuff together.
Yeah, I kind of had the thought similarly, since we all seem to have known Jerry, that maybe Don and
It's Jerry's kids.
yep, that's it. No, maybe Zeke and Don have worked together, and Don and Lee have worked together, and Lee and Jerry have worked together, but maybe we haven't all four of us worked together on one mystery, something along those lines.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything big enough to merit that, but we're all sort of aware of each other in kind of supernatural circles, and we've all kind of paired off and dealt with weird things kind of in smaller subgroups before.
Okay.
Yeah, because it does feel like we're familiar enough with each other to be like, Zeke knows that Lee's may not be a person at all. So maybe it's because when I saved you from that trap, we figured something out. But I've never worked with Jerry. I just know her from the Eldritch group that we were in before, or something along those lines, to where we're
Cool. All right. And real quick, how long have each of you, or do each of you live in Handfast, which is the town which we'll be talking about in just a second? Or are you visiting, ruling through? What's the deal there?
Given that the hospital is actually not too far from the elementary school, Jerry is wont to say, I was born about 850 feet over there, and this is where I am now. Oh, the places you'll go.
Great. How about everyone else? Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley was
What
born
about
there.
Kingsley's playbook?
Who's she playing?
The cat butt.
Rob's the pesky kid.
I think Don lives there now. I think maybe he moved there because of just various weird East Coasty stuff, just weird, and I know it's North Carolina, but weird, I want to say weird, Virginia cryptids, because there's 10 million of those, which isn't super far type.
Yeah, no, they
thing.
spill down.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he lives there now. I think he's currently between professions, and like I said, he's in a little ratty apartment. This weird ephemeral real estate agent appeared before him one day and managed to get him a good deal on a place. So yeah, he lives in town.
Yeah, I think as far as Lee can be said to live anywhere, they live in town. I don't know that they actually have like a legal residence, but they've been in Handfast for an indeterminate number of years. Basically, the entire time they've been on this plane of existence, as far as anyone knows. But I don't think that they have an actual address. They probably get their mail delivered to the school where Jerry works and just swing by and pick it up in the unlikely event that there is any mail. They have a cell phone, and that's all they need. And
Yeah,
of course,
there you go.
the vacant houses in town. They've got a line on those and keys.
There you go. How about Zeke?
Zeke is not from Hanford, but being as the number of employing businesses is so few in this sprawling metropolis, I think that being, in this thetruthistoutthere.net before that, and really kind of coming into, finding out, hey, there's this group that even meets in Nowheresville, North Carolina. Zeke got himself transferred to work at the library, which doesn't really fit anybody in this pod, I know. But Zeke is employed at the local library, which helps, with research materials, etc. But yeah, he does now live in town. I think he's probably been here for a couple years at the most, and yeah, does not have. Maybe he rents a house, but he definitely doesn't own a home. That's crazy.
Sure. It's cool.
Owning a home is like owning an onion.
No one can own it.
No one can own an onion.
You can only hope to contain.
You can just hold it for a little while.
All right. So, a little bit about this town we're all living in, which I know some things about, and you all will help me fill out the rest. Handfast is a small North Carolina town. Let's say 2,000 people. It's tiny, but it does have an abandoned shopping mall that was, presumably struck by a non-real life, not pandemic, but we'll call it the pandemic of time. It also has, as we've discussed, an elementary school, one high school, one middle school. Are middle schools normally freestanding, or do they just get mixed in there? Middle schoolers, kids of between the
go either
ages of
way.
12 and 14 don't go to school. They're just free wandering.
It's Rumspringa for like those 2 years. They're just tearing up
Cage
Hanover.
free.
It's not really safe to keep them indoors, so
They smell.
No.
Let's see. It's established in 1615, which, for those of you keeping track, is about 400 years from when we start in 2015. Writing all of this down again. 1615. Now 2015. Oh, so I guess there would have been no pandemic, but again, the pandemic of time. Malls were going out of fashion way before then.
I was going to say, malls were very famously being shut down well before 2015.
That's where some of the cool kids hang out, is this mall with one Claire's and one Orange Julius. There is the playground across the street from the elementary school. There's the local bar, which is called the Main Street Pub, where everyone pretty much goes to hang out. It's a bar/restaurant, so you'll find families there also. It's open all day. It's very much just a diner that serves alcohol. It's a fancy alcohol diner, as you know those diners do. There's a library, as we've discussed, the Handfast Library. There's a real estate agency that is called the...
I had proposed the Asexual Angels real estate, but that might be too on the nose.
I like that. There's just one employee.
Hide in plain sight.
It'd just be called Serafini Real Estate.
Yeah, that works. Serafini Real Estate. You own your own real estate place. Nice.
Heavenly real estate.
wow. Go me.
Weirdly, Lee doesn't own it. It's just a coincidence.
They just took someone's name and an abandoned EIN.
And perhaps the single most visited attraction, especially now this time of year, it's like June, so all the kids are off school and parents are spending a lot of time and money at Freya's Fjord, the Viking-themed golf land and other course. This is not based on a place that I grew up near called Scandia, which was also Scandinavian themed for some reason. And it's got a little boat course. It's got a little like racing track around the outside of the forest. It was built inside of what used to be a nature reserve and has a little golf course inside. It's got a little arcade. It's great. It's definitely fallen somewhat to the wayside, but it is really all that is going on there. So it is well populated, and potentially haunted. Who can say? That's what you all heard growing up. Those of you who are locals have heard things, but that's ridiculous because kids go there. Kids don't go to haunted places unless they're in Scooby-Doo. And that is what we know about the town.
Can I say that? I was just going to say, like, why would you would only open a place named Scandia if you had like a sign already that said Scandinavia and
buff
you're just
out some
like,
of those
some
letters.
of the lights didn't work on it. Yeah, right.
They
Like,
tried
that
to get
really,
Scandinavia printed, and
anyway.
they just didn't have enough space. And they're like, just
They're like,
ran
yeah,
out of money
just
partway
kind
through.
of squish it.
They're making their first shirt and just couldn't figure out how to
shoot.
reduce the font. And they're like, yeah, well,
Or it was just intentional, like we don't like the Navy here,
Oh,
but we do like the scan.
scans.
And the yeah.
We'll keep that. Anything else we need to know about this town? We know there's a hospital. We know there's an arcade at the Scandia place. That's not Scandia, so we don't get sued.
there is a late night dance club called Scandalmavia that everybody does enjoy. It is right behind Freya's Fjord, but TM. Can't sue us if I say that,
Navia.
right?
That's true.
that is thoroughly, thoroughly scandalous.
Well, that's about character introductions, unless you all want to talk about your gear, but I figure that'll come up in game. Let's see, we've gone through our history. We know how we're a team. We've decided we never work together. We know where we live. Those are all the things. I'm going to check my booklet, but I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and call. Oh, we do need to highlight ratings. Let's do that. Yeah. So, highlighting ratings is part of the gaining experience track. Typically in this game, you gain experience, not by necessarily defeating monsters or uncovering mysteries, but by missing your rolls. So a little bit about that, taking another step back. You're rolling 2d6, and 11 or 12 is a success. 10 through 12 is a success. A 7 through 9 is a mixed beat or mixed success, and a 6 and under is not a failure because we don't call it that, but something else that's like a not a success.
It's like a miss.
It's not a hit. It's not good. You don't want to get under. You don't want to get a 6 or under. But just like in real life, failure leads to experience. So anytime you fail a roll or get a 6 or under, you can mark experience, and when you get 5 of those points, you can level up and take an advancement. I had a point in starting to say this, and that was another way you can get experience in this game is by using your highlighted rating. So how that works is everyone's going to go around and choose one person you feel closest to. That person is going to choose one of your existing ratings. Highlight that, and that means anytime you roll using that rating, you get an experience point. I will also be choosing one for you, so we'll have plenty of chances to level up, even though this is a very short game. The downside to that is instead of 7 luck points, you're only getting 3 because it's a one-shot. For those of you who don't know, luck points can essentially turn any roll into a 12 or reduce any harm taken to 0. We'll talk about harm when that comes up because I don't want to go through all the rules. That'll be crazy. So, Jeff, who would you say you're closest to?
Oh man,
It's hard. I know. We have to choose our
I
favorites.
think everyone's gonna pick Jerry. But I think because of their history in the as yet unnamed or I've already forgotten Eldritch group, I think Jerry, he feels closest to her and still suspects that she might actually be 200 years old.
Okay, so Jerry, which of Zeke's ratings would you highlight? Which one do you feel really is like emblematic of their character, or which one do you think they'll be using a lot for going that way? Choose one of those like cool charm Hard. Hard? No. Tough.
Jeff, remind me of the one that you got as a sub for another one. You can use one for another that your character used.
Yeah.
It's like replacing weird.
It's
right?
using weird instead of using cool.
I'm gonna go weird. I mean, based off of our like friendship in the order of Mori Povich. I don't know what else we're going with at this point. The Mori monks. I would say that she's always loved your weirdness.
Sweet. I would say, let me see. So you can highlight, just mark on your sheet somehow. They don't have a highlight thing, which is weird to me. That's because they have everything else, but somewhere in your notes, highlight weird. And I'm going to say also take cool, because I think it'd be fun. It's not a move you plan on using a whole lot, so I'm interested to see how and if you use that one. So anytime you roll with weird or cool, you can mark an experience point.
I will be improving so fast with my under 6 rolls.
Yeah.
6 or below.
Such advancements. I figure it's a one shot. Let's get them all in there. Dro, right? Yeah, Dro.
Yeah.
Who do you feel you're closest to?
So I think Don would probably be closest to Zeke, just because they were internet friends in the past, and I think he's not really super close to Lee, because Lee kind of weirds him out a little bit, and he believes that Jerry is involved in all of the weird stuff going on in town, so it wouldn't be Jerry. So I think that leaves Zeke.
Right? And Zeke, what would highlight? Which stat would you highlight for Don?
Yeah, you'd think maybe weird, right? But honestly, I think Zeke respects how sharp Don is, so he would highlight as sharp.
Perfect, because I'm going to go with weird. So, Don, anytime you roll with sharp or weird, mark experience. Let's see, and then we have Lee.
Well, Lee, I think, would feel a little bad if they were listening to this session 0, but luckily they can't, or can they? Whoa. Because I think that they feel closest to Don, as somehow Don's sort of general suspicion about them created some kind of metaphysical link, so they feel that they really have some connection with Don Bellwether.
All right, Don.
I think that for Lee, I'm trying to remember. I don't want to give you one that you're not going to roll often because of what you chose. Like, what I wanted to say is probably charm, because I feel like that kind of goes along with, like, your weird kind of otherworldliness. But is that a bad one for you with what you have? I can't remember. It was a million years ago when we said what our pluses and minuses
that is indeed
were.
my worst one. That's my -1, as Lee is
-1.
unnerving.
Yeah. I think in that case, maybe, though everybody else has also done it for other ones, I think I'm going to lean into then the weird instead in that case. Because you are kind of like this, like, target thing, but in a very weird way, at least in his opinion.
A very normal human who only does normal human things.
Mm-hmm. And for that exact reason, I think I am going to go with charm, because I think it's funny that it's opposite. I'm interested to see how you use this charm, or lack thereof, to make your points. I believe in you. I, for one, think that you can be charming.
Yeah, it'll incentivize you to roll at a -1, because then you can get experience for doing it.
Double experience.
Do you get double experience if you fail on a highlighted stat?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if you get double experience, but I will say you can have experience for both failure and highlighting. So I guess, yes. It's going to be a lot of experience.
Okay.
This might not be how the game is played. Anyone who's listening and is like, Izzy, what are you doing? I'm making it up as I go along.
Yeah. Rule 0. The game's played how you say it played. You're the keeper.
Yeah. I'm the keeper. And then Jerry.
Let's see. I guess it would be Lee for Jerry for the aforementioned pasta pentagram incident. I think that also their like rapport is something that, like, I'd like to think that like Lee just pops out of like a wall, but not all the way, but more like kind of like a deer head that's mounted sometimes and is like, asks Jerry just a question and she's like, ah, at first, and drops whatever she's doing and then answers it. And I think that she's come to really like that. You know, things have been kind of quiet around the house ever since Harold is gone. So I could talk to Lee. It's good.
Let's see. Jerry, Mrs. Harold. All right, and Lee, what's Jerry's highlighted stat?
Well, I think if I'm going to be scaring Jerry all the time by popping out of walls or appearing suddenly in a place where there definitely was no person a moment ago, I'll go with cool.
Nice. And I, in turn, will go with weird, because you're a little weird, Jerry. You're a little weird.
Fair.
Sweet. All right. So, again, anytime you roll into those stats, take note and get an experience point. 5 experience points means a level up. A level up means an advancement, which typically means you can take another move from your playbook, which is awesome. I'm a kind and benevolent GM, so I'm going to say, yeah. And when you fail, you get 2 experience points. Congratulations. Well, you fail on a highlighted roll. You get 2 experience points. In exchange for that, you do only get 3 luck, so use them wisely. I think that is going to put us right at the end of this character creation session and ready to kick off session 0. Team, how do we feel?
So prepared.
So prepared.
The most prepared.
A little weird.
So prepared and a little weird. Perfect. That's the exact right mindset for Monster of the Week. Should I talk more about Monster of the Week?
Povich protectors.
We'll do that in session 1. Yeah,
You can
that'll
always
work.
do it in the next one. Yeah.
All right, team. Well, I guess I'm going to bed.
Hi, Dizzy.
Good night,
Good
Izzy.
night, Izzy.
Good night, keeper.
Good night, Maury.
It's actually still pronounced Izzy, even if it's written as keeper.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review.
I attempted to and failed to be able to get Oncom when I was in Thailand, just because while I know that it is absolutely in a different portion of Asia, there's a huge food waste connection there, and there was a lot of like other vegan interesting there, but yeah, I could not find Oncom, so we're gonna have to straight up go to the source. I mean, I've always said that the thing that I miss the most about being vegan is that I don't have like my version of a fugu fish, whichever one, but if you produce it incorrectly, it kills you. Well, now I do, and I think that is really the appeal of this food. Boop.
I did a terrible thing today. I went back to the noisy chair.
Oh no.
Oh
No.
Let's see
chaos app.
if the new microphone can handle the noisy chair. That's the question.
Chaos gremlin.
The book 1 chair.
My son stole the other chair.
As everyone knows, Sam's house has exactly 2 chairs in it. I totally can't see one in the background of that picture.
2 chairs.
Do you think about
130
dragging the
cats.
armchair over?
It has 2 office chairs. Well, actually, no, there's a third office chair that's even louder and more antique than this one.
We're going to drag over that like 600-pound recliner that's in the background there.
Yeah, that'd be
Do
nice.
this in a lazy
It'd be
boy?
comfy.
Yeah.
I should start podcasting from a lazy boy.
Yeah.
If we can get sponsored by Lazy Boy, the only podcast coming to you at like 270 degrees.
When you say I'm going to bed at the end of everything, you just pull on the lever and go
I'm going to
Pot
bed.
Against the
Wham!
Machine, sponsored by furniture you found at a garage sale.
So I'm going with the line. We can edit this in however you want, Zach. It's going to be great. Which line am I doing? Why am I first? And now a robot. Boop. And Zeke's handle would have been... it would have been... So good, improv. It would have been... I don't know. I'll think of something really good here in a sec. We'll edit. We'll leave all this in. It's gonna be like 6.5 minutes of me apologizing.